Hi guys, Carcer back again with another quick game of Battlefield Gothic Armada 2. Or maybe a few games. Who knows how the queue will pan out. So this time we're facing off against a Tyrannid player. Aymeric. Seems like all I'm getting recently is Tyrannids, and the occasional Tau. So for the games this evening, I'm going to be taking out my Evil Sun's fleet, consisting of 3 Deadnought Ordsguard Dakas, and in this particular version of the fleet, I've got 2 Terror Cruisers, just to give me a little bit of extra a little bit of extra fighter bomber support, which can be pretty handy against the nids if they decide they're going to try and land a bunch of strike craft on you. But at least with the Tyranids now, I mean, you do get a bit of variation, whether it's the bitey fleet, the pyroacid fleet, or the tentacles fleet. Yeah, so at least you're, even though you're just getting nothing but nids, at least it's kind of varied. So we're going to be sorry about that, cat was just biting my feet. Yeah, so we're going to have a group of escorts over on the left hand flank here. They're going to go for that left hand point. The group on the right I'm going to keep hidden in the gas cloud there, because I don't want them to go up to those 2 right hand points unsupported. I want to try and get an idea of where the enemy is first. Maybe try and get them into an engagement before I send them up and start capping, because if they just go up by themselves and then run into a bunch of Krakens or whatever, they're going to get slaughtered. Keeping a couple of escorts next to my main fleet just for scanner pulses. Try and spot those sneaky nids. And then just roll on up. I'm not going to boost my fleet, well, I'm not going to boost my battle cruisers and battleships, or cruisers and battleships even just yet, because I don't want to fully give away what I've got, although it should be fairly obvious from the speed difference between the 2 groups there, if he's paying attention. But don't really want him to be able to put strike craft on me straight away. I'd rather you have to put something in first to scout, or maybe send in some fighters to scout first. So that top right point got captured very quickly, so I'm thinking that's probably where the bulk of his fleet is. Just going to send one of my escorts over to have a wee look-see. Meanwhile, the left-hand group of escorts is capturing that left point. I'll then move them up to capture the top left point after they're finished there. And yep, that looks like a few groups of some kind of aircraft. Strike craft. Not quite sure how they spotted me, to be honest. That's fine, one group of fighter bombs will take care of them. Okay, so the right hand point is now being captured. And oh yeah, that looks like a lot of nids, alright. Yeah, there they are. Well, I'll see if we can get out of dodge with that one escort. For my escorts in this fleet, all of them are onslaughts, which are fantastic little ships. Oh, nah, I just didn't quite manage to get away in time. Took a little bit of a ram, not too nasty though, it could have been worse. So I'm going to put down a stasis bubble, and then when they go for their double boost, which is what I suspect they will do, then I'll see if I can just cause a massive pile up. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, 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 lovely. Okay. That'll catch a few in the bubble. So now we want to try and take care of these ones as quickly as possible. One escort did make it through, which means I'm going to get caught in a spore field shit show any second. So it's going to try and focus all my firepower on this lead ship and just try and take them out one by one. Unfortunately, I've lost the deck on my flagship already somehow. I didn't even see what did that. He's taken very minimal damage. I have absolutely no idea what did that to him. These ships maybe have bioplasma or something? Jesus. Okay, so yeah, here comes the spore field shit show for sure. I'm just gonna try, use the tractor cannon to get a few rams off the enemy, get them pointing in the wrong direction, try and muck them up, stop them from chewing down on the rest of my fleet. Now, I've popped my rally already because the deck was destroyed in that on that first ship that got mutinied, and I really want to keep all that firepower going for as long as possible. Yeah, it is bioplasm they've got, so yeah, that'll be how we manage to get through the shields and cause damage. I mean, they were whittling them away. They're certainly going down. Whoa! Okay, one of the nid escort just got yeeted into nowhere. Okay, tried to escape with one of his ships. And there goes the Psychic Scream, which unfortunately mutinies my flagship. And I'm still 25 seconds out from a rally, so that is very unfortunate. Hopefully the rest of my fleet will have the firepower to take out the rest of these ships, but oof, with nasty rear rams like that, not looking good. Very nice use of the Void Lurker there. So I've got multiple fires on that last battleship, leaving me with only a single Terror cruiser. Might possibly be able to get one more of these nid ships down. I think that's just an escort that's on low health, isn't it? Yeah, it's not a Kraken. And unfortunately that is all she wrote for the bulk of my fleet. So all I'm left with now is 6 escorts and the mutinied flagship. Now, considering the enemy flagship has Void Lurker, I'm probably not going to be able to outmaneuver them. If it was just a case of them only having the rush, then it's a possibility. Let's see if I can escape with this frigate. Very nice. I think it took a little bit of damage. I'm not sure if it might be from the jaws or possibly from the guns. And he's in all sorts of fire, and all his crew are going to be dead very soon. Maybe we'll get close enough for a scuttle, probably not.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
So the 2 remaining enemy ships have popped their reload, so they're definitely getting prepared for a chase. Now I've given them 2 targets to think about. Looks like they're both going for the top left hand group. So I'll see if I can get them out, get a dodge with them as soon as I've captured that point. So by fully capturing this top left point, that'll force them to come right up to the top left to retake it. Oh, but unfortunately you capture painfully slowly with escorts. So right, I'm just hoping I'll have enough time to grab this right hand point and then the top right, with the two escorts on the right hand side there. Okay, right, there's the point captured. There goes the Void Lurker. And looks like he popped a Psychic Scream as well. He has launched a group of fighters, so I'm not going to be able to re-stealth, unfortunately. An enemy player managed to get some boarding actions off, so unfortunately they're a bit of a goner. So I think the thing to do here is just make a run for it. We've still got that group over on the right hand side there. Now only one enemy ship is present, so that probably means that the other one is now making a beeline for these two frigates. Let's pop a pulse, doesn't seem to be anyone coming yet.
The enemy has accumulated 75% of strategic points.
Just noticed that my flagship, it looks like they've actually decrewed it while it was mutinied, which it's kind of questionable. I wish I'd noticed that earlier, then I could have gone and done some crew transfers on it. I mean, the crew on it wouldn't have lasted long, but yeah, could potentially have created another distraction, which would have allowed me to capture more points. Or in fact, it could even have gone and held a point itself, maybe hidden inside that gas cloud just next to the centermost point. Just sprung a little ambush. That's unfortunate. So although these onslaughts are pretty deadly, they're in those numbers, they're not going to have the firepower to take down one of these Tyranid ships. And they're just going to get boarded to death in the process. Unfortunately, I've got no coral to arms available on that ship, so he's probably going to lose all of his crew. Right, just going to make one Hail Mary rush for the flagship and see if I can get him recrewed. I mean, we're very low on points, but yeah, probably not going to be possible. That's unfortunate. So I think the mistake that I made there was when I got jumped by that whole goon squad of the enemy's fleet. I definitely popped my Wasongs too early. Because I basically just popped the Wasong as soon as the first ship got mutinied. When what I should have done was wait a little while until a bunch of my other ships were getting low. I mean, had I known that the enemy had Psychic Scream, I definitely would have held on to it, especially with the flagship's bridge being destroyed. Poof. Okay, well, GG to my opponent there. Not a great start to the night, but I mean, that could have gone either way. I mean, if my especially my flag hadn't mutinied when it did, then that probably would have gone the other way. I mean, my opponent there was going all in on that attack, so if he'd, he had nothing else dotted around the map for point capping or anything. So I mean, that would have been it if things had gone slightly differently. So I'm not quite sure how long matchmaking is going to take. Obviously things have slowed down quite considerably recently. Oh hey, not bad. Is it just going to be the same guy though? Maybe. Yes, it is. Aiming again. So, yeah, this time I'm pretty much going to do the same thing. However, I'm just going to be a little bit more disciplined on the wah songs. Just leave that a little bit longer before we pop it. And will I keep red ones go faster? I could swap it out for like the for that dex ability, which allows me to stay in stance even though my deck's been destroyed, because they will be trying to destroy my decks for sure, because I mean that's the best way to beat orcs, is just to make them all run away. And that's certainly what happened in the previous match. But although I probably won't have to do much chasing, I like having the red paint just for the extra turning speed that it gives you. I mean, if you're taking orc battleships, then you really need the extra turning speed to get, especially against an enemy which is going to be swarming all around you. You want to try and keep those mega cannons pointed at the enemy. You don't want them getting behind you. And then once the big spore field shit show starts, then all you can really do is rotate in place. I mean, like orc battleships particularly get totally fucked over by the spore field effect as far as the speed debuff. Plus it hurts your morale to move through it, so it's best just to slam the brakes on. So what I've done is I've swapped out the stasis bomb for a plasma bomb, and I reckon because he likes to charge in en masse in like a tight blob, I should be able to get some very nice damage off with that plasma bomb if you use it in conjunction with the tractor, just to cram them all together. So we're going with a similar configuration to the last game. Couple of groups of escorts on the far left and right to capture points. Then I'm going to keep one group nearer to my main fleet. I'm just going to start moving them up. Maybe capture that middle point, although it looks like the bulk of the enemy fleet is just directly ahead of those three escorts. It looks like we're just heading straight down the centre of the map at each other. And so that group of three escorts that I've got slightly ahead of my main fleet, I'm just going to park them up in the gas clouds just to the left of the point there, and just use them for spotting and a little bit of fire support. Then once the coast is clear, I can send them off capping. Again, keeping an eye out for enemy fighters and strike craft, because I don't want to stupidly let them through. Speak of the devil. Right, I'm just going to park up in this asteroid belt first off. just in case those fighters are coming towards the frigates, but it doesn't look like they are actually. It looks like they're heading towards my my main fleet, which is fine. I should have plenty of time to kill them off, even without going into brace for impact. I don't really want to go into brace for impact stance and lock me in there, because I think the engagement's probably going to be happening quite soon. I'm thinking if that's where the a couple of the enemy cruisers are, then the inevitable Kraken swarm is probably ahead of them, so they should be coming into contact any second. Just going to move back my crew. Oh, here they are. Right, so there we go. Get a nice tractor moosh and drop the plasma bomb at the same time. Should do a nice chunk of damage to a bunch of those. Very nice. Did a bit of damage, also took some shields down. Right, so now we just go front towards enemy. Just burn retros with everything so they don't move, try and move to the spore field. My flagship is still moving. What's going on there? Just going to stay in reload stance because they're close enough that I don't really need to lock on for a change. And oh yeah, this is going barrel already. So just having that little extra bit of damage with the plasma bomb there, that's put me in a much better position for this fight. So there's some desperation ramming going on, but unfortunately it's going to cut the mustard. Missed with that plasma bomb. I couldn't get the flag turned around to get the tractor on him, unfortunately. Okay, there's the enemy flag, along with the other cruiser, or battle cruiser, I'm not quite sure. So, wait for it and pop the rally now. So I've now got 30 seconds of morale immunity. Okay, his shields are down, so I'll just put some strike craft on. There we go. Psychic Scream did absolutely nothing. Excellent stuff. That was a shame. Boom. Well, that was a beautiful tractor plasma combo there. And that basically ends the match. All he's got left is this single ship who's about to get shredded. Completely forgot about my escorts again. I'm so excited with the main fight there. So, as you can see, that went a hell of a lot better. Like the Jaws type Tyranid fleets, they do tend to have a pretty bad time against the shooty orc fleet. I mean, that first game was a bit of an aberration for like a Jaws style fleet to actually win against you know, a decent Gardaka fleet. But yeah, again, that was really just down to me totally jumping the gun with the wah songs. I'll just jump in the queue again, see what we get. Possibly taking a little bit longer this time. So yeah, obviously I haven't been playing very much recently, just coming on, just doing a couple of odd games, like maybe once or twice a week. It's not a particularly great scene just now with the player base. being so thinned out as it is. It takes a long time to find a match. Even if you can find a match, then generally you maybe only be playing like one person a bunch of times. Not a huge variation in the fleets that you're facing off against. But hopefully, as I said before, if a game goes on sale, or potentially if the leaderboards get reset again, if they're going to bother doing that, then might see a wee upsurge. But yeah, I think at this point the game's pretty much run its course. So that was, that was like the bulk of a year. That's, yeah, not too bad. Just been playing a lot of Stellaris again recently. That's really good fun. Got the new, there's a new DLC which has added lithoid species, which are these rock-based creatures. So they're kind of interesting. They kind of work like the synthetics in that they don't use food, but instead of using energy for their upkeep, they use minerals. And they don't have quite as good habitability ratings as the synthetics do, but they can. I think they've got like about a 50% bonus to habitability, so they can pretty much go on most planets. Anyway, back to BFGA2. Okay, right, looks like we've got Emmerich again. So I'm guessing that in his little gap there, I don't know, he was maybe going to make a cup of tea, make some plans, think about how he's going to get me this time. So I wonder if we're going to get the same fleet or maybe something different. Maybe that's what he's been up to. He's maybe building a new fleet, a new orc busting fleet. We'll see. I'm not going to change any of the gear that I've got. That plasma bomb tractor combo worked pretty well. I very seldom take the plasma bomb. I normally only ever take the plasma bomb against Necrons. Because it's a great ability to use on them once they've burnt their teleport. But since my opponent seems to like going in so like mob-handed with the early Kraken jaw rush, then yeah, this plasma bomb and tractor combo is working quite nicely. And I don't even have to spread my fleet out too much this game because all of the points are handily tucked together all in one half of the map. So I can just concentrate on this left-hand side of the map. Not much in the way of cover, no asteroid fields or gas clouds, although really that favours me because that just gives the enemy less places in which to re-stealth. Which is good. So we'll start cruising up. So I have a feeling, I mean, they're probably going to go for the point closest to them first, and then on to that far left-hand point where I've got my two frigates heading just now. So if I see that that top left point starting to get, there we go, so it starts getting captured. So I probably won't jump in ham on that left hand point because I know that even if I get there first, there's probably going to be nids waiting for me. So that's being captured. Yep, that's going reasonably quickly. So there's either a lot of escorts or maybe an escort and some bigger ships, or just bigger ships. Maybe the escorts are somewhere else entirely. Probably moving to head off my main fleet. But we'll soon find out. So since we're not really going to be going for a capture just now, I'm just going to peel off one of my frigates here and hide it in the cloud. I'm still going to capture that point nearest my deployment zone with those 2 escorts, and the one on the right hand side I've got a group of 3 escorts. So I mean, going by previous games, this is probably the bulk of the enemy fleet that I'm seeing here on the left hand side.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Okay, so that's a whole bunch of escorts, and is that the battle cruiser? And it looks like it's the hentai escorts that he's gone for this time. Oh, the hentai escorts have got fuck all health actually. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's very good. Okay, I can start moving my main fleet over to them just now. So they have popped a bunch of their gross little tentacocks into my escort. So he is now scuttled. Scuttled. He's been decrewed. Right, I'm just going to move these guys out the way. I'll send them off capping. Yeah, they can boost over to there once they're out of the way. And then we're just going to boost the bulk of the combat fleet over. Start putting fire down on this group of escorts here. So these should die pretty quickly. Just to the guns, because they're nowhere near as durable as the Krakens are. Just anticipating the rush, but I don't know that it's going to happen. I think they're just going to hang back with their tongues. Just fighters coming out now from the enemy. Don't know why he hasn't mixed up the fighters and bombers to try and do something. Looks like the enemy has not noticed that I'm bombing him. Oh shit, right. So yeah, RIP those escorts. Yeah, so it looks like he's gone for an all boarding style fleet. So I'll pop a call to arms on front battle cruiser. Not going to use it just yet on the on my battleship, who's taking some boarding actions. Yeah, I think with him having lost all those escorts so early on, this is pretty much over and done with. See if we can get a nice little plasma bomb on there. Poof. Okay, I managed to get him before he was able to escape. Cool, there goes another one. Now I'll get my battleships firing on the flag over on the left there. Get some boarding actions off on him as well. Trying to whittle down his crew. Obviously with Tyranid chips, if you manage to reduce them to 0 crew, then they just pop, which is quite nice. Obviously they can replenish their crew, but then that prevents them from using their double dash, which means you can actually catch them, even with orcs. Solitary strike craft coming in, they were killed almost immediately. Okay, so I've got my tractor cannon ready, so if he does try and dash out, then I can just drag him back in. Bang! Right, so he'll take that full damage. There goes another one of the ships. Looks like there's some strike craft coming in, but not really fussed. I've still got 3 battleships. And now I've stealthed up in the hand-dandy spore clouds that they've left for me. So these spore fields should be clearing up pretty soon, because I think they all popped at more or less the same time. So they should be, yep, there they go, clearing away. He is putting some more boarding actions off on that one battleship, but I should be able to weather that, hopefully, with my call to arms. No, 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 no. You're going to go right there. Right in the bomb. Oof. Yep. And that's that. And we can even recrew these ships. Just cause a little bit of extra damage to the enemy flag. So he's gamely trying to reduce the DPS in the field by decrewing one of my battleships, but I'll be able to recrew him again. Not that it really matters at this point. So I've still got 2 completely full health battleships, one of which is my flag, which are also on full crew and with full complement of point defence. So they should be more than capable of taking this guy out. I used his Void Lurker to try and run away, but unfortunately he's run straight into my group of 5 escorts who are going to pew 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 him to death. And that's what I was talking about. Like, yeah, so in the first game, I didn't really get a chance to do this, but if you get a bunch of these ships firing at once, the DPM is absolutely ridiculous. Especially if you get rear shots, I mean, they will just melt through anything that they're firing at. It's fantastic. And there's the game. Oh well, that was quite a nice few games. So I'll know what to expect when I meet this guy again. I've obviously learned my lesson about just being a bit more disciplined. Right, thanks for watching guys. I will see you in the next one, whenever that may be.